Hello, this is Arhkma, and welcome to some EU4. Wait, this isn't World War II adjacent? What happened? Well, I wanted to play some EU4, which only really happens about once a year. So I loaded up my favorite country to play, Lucca, in the hopes of having a good time. Spoilers, it was not. It was damnation. Part of that is I'm playing on hard mode, so, I did that to myself. The other part is that Lucca's landscape has changed dramatically since I last played, which includes things like Florence wanting my blood, France having a 50-50 chance to immediately die in the early game, an initial desire to do exploration ideas, and getting murdered by Portugal and Spain because of it. So, after 2 weeks of failure and inadequacy, I changed up my game plan and started a live stream. After a few resets to roll a good doge as if I was a Pokemon speedrunner, we're off to the races. I managed to get an early alliance with Milan and France, which is pretty good. Now that I should be somewhat secure for the early game, what's the plan? Well, initially it was to build tall, or to mainly focus on increasing my domain through minor conquests and development, but I actively avoided the conquest part for a long while. One change from all my disappointments is that I'm going to avoid exploration ideas. If I want to do the New World dance, I'll steal it from someone else. It's all robbery at the end of the day anyways. As for my actual ideas, the first two picks were plutocratic and economic ideas. Both will help my money in development, with the latter already being invested into Lucca when the Renaissance appeared. A few wars take place, with me mainly assisting France with some early expansion. Some of this involves them entering northern Italy, which will definitely not come back to bite me later. Nope. You know what else may complicate the game? Ottoman jump scare. Yeah, I don't know if it's a more recent thing, but the Ottomans are even more scary than usual. Aside from them rampaging in the Balkans, they also start bodying the Muscovites, and for some reason, they're now in Italy. Well, that sucks. I'm just chillin', here in Lucca. The late 1400s and early 1500s saw me helping France some more, this time fighting the HRE to get stuff from Burgundy, but I mostly just sat around on already sieged tiles to take their money. One of these wars eventually ended my alliance with Milan, so I was starting to get a little desperate. With a newly formed Tuscany thirsty for my blood, I was going to need to make some moves. The first move I'd make would be completely unintended, and that was due to my liberal use of my Republican power. Honestly, a pretty chill time. Welp, we are now a county. We are under the Serlupis. Duke Bartholomew I Serlupi. The first intentional move was joining the Protestant Reformation so that I could get another development cost modifier. The Pope has currently rivaled me, so it's probably in my best interest. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. Fuck the Pope. Let's do a development check. Lucca is only at 57 development. More points will have to be spent on that later. A little after this, a new idea group is up for grabs, and I weighed my options, ultimately selecting maritime ideas. This may be one of my stronger decisions during the campaign, as the Luccan Navy would slowly develop into a menace in the Mediterranean. When the Age of Reformation properly started, I was in a bit of a bind. France's economy and manpower were all over the place, and I sent them lots of money in desperation to keep them stable. Milan, who I re-allied, got into a fight with Venice that I joined, and immediately regretted as my army exploded soon after. Aside from a momentary panic of Tuscany or one of my other enemies using this as a way to end the game, it didn't end up with too much personal damage. Milan, on the other hand... Okay, well, we didn't lose any territory. But now I gotta rebuild the military, now. With one of my allies in shambles and the other at risk of abandoning me, along with multiple nations now being a direct threat to Lucca's existence, I posed a question to my Twitch chat. I'm gonna do another poll, and I just want to ask a question. That question is going to be, do y'all want me to take Tuscany? We could form Tuscany. Or should I just stay a one province minor and take Pisa? Now this would be a departure from maintaining my one province position, but it could both remove an immediate threat while also utilizing France in a beneficial way before they rethink our partnership. One chat member asked about a third option, which was much grander than both choices. Is forming Italy an option? That'll probably be a later game thing if we do. But this is for the next 20, 30 years what our game plan should be. After grabbing 2 claims on Tuscany and safely moving my army to France so I don't immediately lose, I declared war on Tuscany. Their allies of Naples and Corsica stood no chance as France's army defeated all comers. The Lucan army were a safe distance away, cheering them on as it happened. At the end of it all, and with some deliberation as to what I should take while avoiding a coalition, I took Calabria from Naples and Pisa and Florence from Tuscany. This makes 1535 as Lucca's first territorial expansion. Surely this means we'll be in a better position to form Tuscan... Well, I guess we'll wait. It's not like Tuscany's going anywhere, at least. So it's just a matter of time before Tuscany gives up. I just really hope that they don't annex Tuscany. Oh, that hurts. That hurts a lot that we don't have Arezzo. I don't think I can form Tuscany without it. I'm going to cry. Yeah, so that's not fun at all. Well, having the Ottomans on my border isn't fun, but we're not out of things to do. That Tuscan chicanery was part of the religious war within the empire, which also saw Venice get mangled in the peace deal. With the area overall destabilized, I at least put Tuscany in the grave by annexing Siena and Corsica. Soon after, it's time for the recently released countries of Parma and Bologna to become the permanently deceased countries as I annex the two allied states. Soon it's Ferraro's turn as I march my army over there for a beach episode in the Gulf of Venice. Then some peacetime happens as I get stuck in a regency council. With the 1500s coming to a close, things are about to massively change in Italy. Savoy, no, they're killing Savoy. Look what they did to Savoy. With France finishing off Savoy, I tried to secure some of the north by invading Genoa. I only managed to take the capital as Milan sieged down their other province. I don't give it to them though, because France's encroachment in the area means they are likely to fight Milan just as much as Genoa, which is something I'd rather avoid. Said situation sort of happens as France declares war on the Milanese ally Switzerland, which I join in on. This kills the Milan. This also means that the French are on our border, but they still kinda like me. But something's gotta give. This won't stop me from continuing to develop Lucca as well as my new holdings, so let's do a quick development check. Back to the front, and oh hey, France is taking the last bit of Genoa. Fuck. Well, all I can do is applaud and help out, but for my effort, I'm rewarded with Rome. Okay. This means at the end of the first stream, I'm in an unstable but not uncomfortable situation. I also managed to ally myself with a tiny Netherlands as well as a big Bohemia, so next session should be good. Time skip, whee! Immediately into the game, I launched an invasion against Venice with all three of my allies, including a very hungry France. The Lucan Navy doesn't have the best time, but the land forces are enough to win the day. I take 3 provinces in the north not sieged by France, as well as Lucania in the south. Once the truce ends, I go right back in, this time to annex land including but not limited to the ones on the French border. Why? Because I got an alert that France was already planning to do the same thing, and that would be awful. So, onwards, calling in France for assistance and sieging the border provinces immediately. With the assistance of the now superior Lucan Navy, the day is won, and a whopping 5 provinces are now in my power. Unfortunately, France immediately ended our alliance, and I became very scared. I started sending diplomats all over the place to look for another strong ally. Okay, this is actually particularly bad. Okay, I can do this. All right, we've got the Spanish as an ally now. Yep, another country with their hands in Italy. But their border with France means that they can be a potential scapegoat if things go wrong. Aside from this political shift, another unexpected change catches my eye. No, they're just like, oh, we don't need you anymore, and we actually want, like, all of your land. So I am now literally pissing and crying right now in an attempt to... Oh, I can form Italy now. I didn't realize I got everything. Fuck yeah. Okay, we are now Italy. Don't worry about the fact I am missing many parts of Italy. It's fine. A worthy navy. I get a permanent claim on a bunch of areas in North Africa. Unfortunately, I haven't done anything else, so... Well, who'd have thunk that I'd form Italy before Tuscany? I didn't, but that's how it happened, and that's not a bad thing. After this change, I also managed to swindle my way into the English court and secure myself an alliance with that funny boat country. This makes me a very happy camper, so I spend some time improving the country and going on that money grind, which has been going really well. And money is a good tool for diplomacy, as I used my pockets to secure an alliance to hopefully help fight the Ottomans in the future. My favorite part about Arhkma streams is when he says, it's Arhkma time, and then he Arhkmas all over. Oh my god, I'm so close to getting the Ethiopians as my ally. Please, I need it for my master plan. Okay, so here's the new plan. I'm gonna send Ethiopia a gift of 800 gold, and they're gonna ally me now. And they're not gonna say no. Awesome. Oh, and idea check. Since we last saw, I completed offensive ideas in a vain attempt to not have my armies die immediately, as well as diplomatic ideas to help gain allies and to keep the ones already with me. Time skipped to a bit later and it's time for more war, this time with the Pope. This is partially for their land, but also to fight the Venetians without calling in their ally, a decently strong Commonwealth. In the peace deal with Venice, I annul said alliance while taking Salerno. I then make peace with the Pope.
You will give me all of your territory. Alright, the Pope is dead.
With them gone, I slowly built Italy up while deciding who to go after next. Banking on the noticeable numbers superiority that myself and my 3 allies of England, Bohemia, and Spain had, I declared war on France. The resulting conflict was pretty bad to say the least. My army tried their best to fight the French in Italy, but without assistance I was mostly losing. The Spanish had a similar situation in Iberia, mostly failing to dislodge the French from the Pyrenees. The English seized down French Scotland, don't ask, I don't know, and did nothing else. Bohemia mostly fought the French and their ally East Frisia with no real results. Deciding to cut my losses, I ceded Spanish land and a good chunk of money to the French. I didn't lose any land, but that was not a good showing from Team Not France.
Yeah, that was not good at all. But don't worry, Spain, we'll go get those lands back. But holy fuck did that hurt.
I at least got a truce out of it, so that's good. The next years would have been peaceful until England called me in to go fight half of Africa. Why? Jollof. Not seeing much danger in doing so, as well as the possibility to take Tunisian land in the process, I joined in. This war is pretty important to the overall game, as it's the first major showcase of my navy's power. I also managed to naval invade North Africa, so I can actually contribute somewhat to the effort. Since the navy is mainly galleys, I was not planning to travel all the way to Jollof. Making the way up to Tunisia, my ships continuously catch the Tunisian navy, eventually seizing their flagship. Now, my own navy had a flagship already, but something changed when I got theirs. I don't know if it increased my chance of capturing enemy ships, but future naval battles would expand my navy more than me actually building ships. Though the war with Jollof was a failure for the English, I did still get land from Tunisia, which included their capital. Neat. There was also a brief heart attack when the Ottomans for some reason joined the war at the last second, but thankfully the war ended before they could suplex me. With that sorted, I looked east for another ally to hopefully help me against the Ottomans, Russia. Though the Ottomans have been beating them up since the beginning of the game, they were still somewhat intact. They accepted after I sent them a small amount of money, this being relative to how much I've had in my treasury. This alliance came as the Ottomans bodied the Venetians and moved all the way into Treviso. I can't do anything anywhere due to a warning by said Ottomans, and I'm still not prepared to fight them directly either, so more waiting. By 1707, I fought my fears enough to declare war on the French, but this time also calling in the Russians and Netherlands as backup. This war went much better, as France was forced to guard everywhere. The Netherlands got gobbled up by the French, but they were the only negative casualty in the fighting. The English, Spanish, and myself all got some piece of land, resulting in the only province that France had left in Italy being Saluzzo. Soon after, Bohemia brought me into a war with the Commonwealth, which we won, but more importantly, I got some more land from Venice. With most of Italy secured, and my alliance still on the strong side, I decided to turn my attention east.
Now, theoretically, we win this. I'm going to do everything in my power to win this fight. And I'm going to declare for nationalism so I can get the stuff I need. Tunisia is just going to be undefended. There's nothing I can do about that. But this brings in Spain, Bohemia, Russia, and Ethiopia. So we have the benefit of this war being all over the place.
This war was won for 2 reasons. 1, my alliances. Russia and Ethiopia did a great job splitting the Ottomans' attention, allowing Spain, Bohemia, and myself to move through the Balkans. Ethiopia in particular somehow held out despite receiving the brunt of the enemy's troops. Like, look at this as the war ended. What the fuck? The other factor was my navy, which not only continuously slapped the Ottomans' larger navy, but also kept stealing their ships, which only spiraled positively for me. This one war kicked the Ottomans all the way out of Italy, with me even securing Istria as a nice bonus. With that, only France, Venice, and Spain remained. Now, things are looking great. My alliance is strong going into the Age of Revolution, the country is stable, and my enemies are in a weaker position. What could go wrong? Well, England went to war over a single colonial province with Scandinavia. Okay, that's fine. They call me in, I'll just chill. It's not like they can do much to me. It does temporarily end my alliance with Bohemia since they're an enemy now, but no problem. Huh? Wait, what's the... Fuck. It's fine. No need to panic. As long as I don't do anything stupid, I should be...
Okay, I need to build another army This war just got way more serious. I did not realize that was gonna just murder my king immediately. I also just lost my alliance with the English. Oh, I lost my alliance with Wow, that was a fucking mistake. Holy shit. Whoops.
Whoops! Are you fucking for real? Oh, bam, bro. Hey!
Through sheer stupidity, I've thrown away almost everything I've built up for this half of the game. It's fine. Despite the hordes of armies in the north, I managed to last until the war ended in a white peace. Still in a bit of whiplash and now the enemy of every country in Europe, I end the stream session by removing Venice from the map. So, with less than 100 years left in game, I have 3 goals. 1, still exist by the end of the game. 2, to take the remaining land from France and Spain. And 3, take someone's colonial holdings. I don't even care who. Loading into the game for Stream 3, and I'm on a slight time crunch. I joined a Melty Blood type Lumina online tourney that day, and it started a little earlier than I thought. So I was gonna try and finish the campaign within that time. I immediately started building up more troops and ships, which was very smart as soon after the Ottomans declared war on me to destroy the revolution. What followed was a very stalemate-y land war with the Navy decisively seizing the day. No joke, the war was fought in this area here, and a good amount was just troops staring at each other.
Okay, another big engagement. Oh my god. Oof. That's another, like, 74, 77 ships lost.
Unfortunately, despite being the one who got attacked, I couldn't annex any land unless I first spread the revolution, which the Ottomans wouldn't accept as it was 60% war score. So instead, I made them revoke some cores and give me money. There was an added bonus, as they were the military hegemon at the time, and me beating them removed that. I'd also like to note that they had 1 million men in the field and would not dip under that for the rest of the game. What the hell? Oh, I did technically get some land during the war, just not because of it. The Knights ended up being released in Malta, and not wanting to wait until it was too late, I quickly yoinked it mid-war.
Well, that's one way to get land, is just immediately take them over as soon as they spawn out.
Before I could compose myself after the fighting, Spain decided they wanted a piece of me and declared war, and they called in Austria. This was going to be a difficult war, as I have an army size disadvantage, but I'm still threatened from the French border as they have military access. The resulting fighting does not go particularly well, but a change in fortune comes from Austria, as the Habsburgs were overthrown midway by the revolution, and I am eventually able to white piece them out.
Thank you. I don't want to be fighting 2 strong countries on my own. If it's just the Spanish, I can kick their ass.
Since I was now only fighting Spain, I marched my army to Iberia and went a bit crazy. Unfortunately, the same issue as the Ottoman War reared its head. I can't annex anything, but I couldn't stay in the war since my manpower was rather low. Instead, I took some money and broke their alliance with Korea just in case. We'd be back, but on my terms. So now that we're at peace, I'd like to announce a revival of me having alliances. This time, it's with revolutionary Austria. Who would have seen the two of us working together? The next few years were spent building up, and me hating the Revolutionary Republic's stability hits each time I got a new ruler. There were some funny things happening in America, which, hey, it's something.
Oh, Canada exists. The Kingdom of Canada. Right next to Dutch Canada. I'm surprised they're just independent. Oh, there we go. The English own the 13 colonies. The colonists in question. Nah, we're just Florida. Also Illinois. Never mind, they're the US now. They changed their mind. They didn't like being Florida. Well, there goes the English Empire. So, anyone else want to blow up? Oh, we could go attack the Spanish now. And just actually go for land.
And so I did. The war went rather well, as I managed to secure Sicily early and then returned for the Iberian smackdown. Portugal was in the war this time, but after they got full siege by the Ottomans and a brief blockade by me, they white-pieced out. After all of mainland Spain was sieged down, I decided to make peace. I took back all of Sicily and Sardinia, and even took New Zealand and the Panama from them.
There, I have achieved a colony the way everybody else does it. By stealing it from other people. Alright, so what are we calling this? I'm just gonna call this the Italian Panama, because I am very uncreative. It could be a private enterprise. And then Australia, well, this isn't Australia, it's New Zealand. So this can be New Lucca. because that's where we started. That's where the dream began. Oh, and then if we want to, so if we want to fight this guy, we have to fight the Spanish again. We're going to be going to war with the Spanish again soon.
How soon? Well, less than 2 years. Not much to say, it was kind of a repeat of the last war, but Panama was overrun while I reinfested Iberia for the 3rd time this game. I did have to rescue an army I built in Panama to avoid losing them, which was pretty scary.
Oh, my military hadn't even built up yet. Oh, you know, I didn't even think about the part where the Spanish would also have militaries down here. Okay, well, I may have spawned 43 divisions just to die out here, unless there's gonna be a rescue operation. We're gonna pull this military out of here.
That army took part in the landing operation into Spain, as neither side had access through France. Said France would then separately invade Spain, which was just an added misery for them to endure. In the peace deal, I took the Balearic Islands and Gibraltar from Spain directly, Tasmania and Australia, and some more stuff in Central America. I also flipped to a revolutionary empire in the middle of that war, which is honestly more beneficial for me in the long run.
Okay, I am now a monarchy. We are just a revolutionary empire. Very, very smart. Yep,
The game is starting to come to a close, but I still need to fight France. Unfortunately, another timer is up. I had to go play in bracket. After going 2-2 in the tournament, I loaded the game back up to finish the campaign. While plotting how to go about fighting France, who, by the way, somehow managed to ally the fucking 1 million man army Ottomans, I sneakily annexed Trent. It is mine now. I own all the Trents.
Just gonna quickly take this. I didn't expect to be taking this, but
As the game continued towards the end, 2 things changed. I managed to get another ally, a now revolutionary but much weaker Commonwealth. The other change was a war France declared on East Frisia, which brought France to blows with Spain. Seeing this as my only chance, I declared war and hoped for the best.
oh, the Spanish are in this war. Yeah, we need to go now. This is the time. In fact, I'm not even gonna wait to get to the border.
With that, Italy was whole. A goal I was not even aiming for at the start of the campaign was achieved through some good moves and despite some really stupid mistakes. As the calendar reached its end, a final call to arms by Austria to fight Scandinavia ends the game on a little bit of a cliffhanger, but who cares? I let the game's time-lapse go at the end to watch how the campaign went, and I'll conclude with it going. Thank you all for watching. This was a good few weeks of effort, but I'm glad to have completed it. I don't know when the next EU4 game will be, but I hope you enjoyed. Oh, and one final development check is needed. Nice.